Good evening and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you 100 news and updates from the country and the world in 30 minutes. Let's begin. India on Thursday termed China's claims over Arunachal Pradesh as baseless. Addressing a press conference, spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs, Mr. Randhir Jaiswal, stressed that Arunachal will remain an integral part of India. MEA spokesperson also reiterated India's position on Ukraine, saying resolution must be reached through dialogue and diplomacy, and warring sides must be open to explore all the ways to establish peace. Indian Ministry of Home Affairs on Thursday extended the Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958 in 3 districts and the areas falling under the jurisdictions of 3 police stations in another district of Arunachal Pradesh for a period of 6 months. Ukraine's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dmytro Kuleba, arrived in New Delhi on Thursday. He laid wreath at Rajghat in New Delhi and paid his homage to Mahatma Gandhi. The Foreign Minister will also hold talks with India's Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, on bilateral partnership and region, along with global issues, on Friday. Ahead of his visit, Minister Kuleba said that Ukraine sees India as an important global power. He also welcomed India's participation in the reconstruction of Ukraine. Thursday was the last day of filing of nominations for first phase polls in the northern Indian state of Bihar. Prominent candidates filed their nominations for the 19th of April Lok Sabha poll. Nominations of Phase 2 of India's general election began on Thursday. A total of 88 constituencies across 12 states and union territories will go to the poll in the second phase. BJP President JP Nadda appointed C.R. Kesavan as the national spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party. Kesavan, a former Congress leader from Tamil Nadu, joined the BJP last year. In the southern state of Tamil Nadu, DMK candidate from South Chennai and party sitting lawmaker Tamilachi Tanga Pandian began her election campaign from T Nagar in Chennai. In the latest list of the Lok Sabha candidates by the Congress party, Ajay Rai has been given the ticket from Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, but Supriya Srinath, the national spokesperson of the Congress from Maharajganj, has been dropped. A Mahavikas Aghadi Alliance meeting was held in the port city of Mumbai on Thursday. Senior leaders from the Indian National Congress, NCP and the Shiv Sena participated in it. Delhi High Court dismissed a plea seeking to remove Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, as he is under the ED custody in a liquor policy case. Delhi Court extended ED remand of Arvind Kejriwal till the 11th of till the 1st of April. The Central Bureau of Investigation is also seeking Kejriwal's remand in connection with the probe. The Enforcement Directorate on Thursday began questioning 4 persons, including AAP Goa President Amit Palekar, in connection with the Prevention of Money Laundering Act case. The sea phase of a tri-service humanitarian assistance and disaster relief exercise between India and the US, codenamed Tiger Triumph, began in the Bay of Bengal on Thursday. The Israeli Aerospace Industries announced on Thursday that it has opened its Indian subsidiary in New Delhi. The opening of Aerospace Services India is seen as a demonstration of the Israeli aerospace and defense company's strong collaboration with the Indian government's self-reliant and Make in India initiative. A top official at India's National Disaster Management Authority, Kamal Kishore, has been appointed by United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres as his special representative for disaster risk reduction. Indian markets ended in green on Friday. Sensex rebounded 655.04 points to close at 73,651.35. Nifty climbed 203.25 points to settle at 22,326.9. Indian rupee fell 6 paise to close at 83.39 against the US dollar. Gold future maturing on the 5th of April stood at 66,916 rupees per 10 grams on Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. Silver futures maturing on the 3rd of May stood at 74,792 rupees per kilogram on the NCX. Japanese financial agency said on Thursday that they are ready for a possible intervention in the market following a 34-year low record fall of the yen. The Bank of Japan released the report of their March meeting on Thursday, underscoring a preference to move slowly in future interest rate hikes. Oil prices edged up on Thursday following 2 consecutive sessions of decline. Brent crude futures for May were up at $86.49 a barrel. All 3 major U.S. stock indices ended higher on Wednesday, with the Dow rising more than 1%, while the S&P 500 closed at an all-time high. Video game publisher Take-Two Interactive Software said that it has come to an agreement to acquire U.S. game developer Gearbox Entertainment from Sweden's Embracer, with the transaction valued at $460 million. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met Malaysia's Digital Minister Gobind Singh Teo. The duo discussed digital cooperation, including exchange of best practices and business opportunities between both the nations. India and China held discussions in Beijing to achieve complete disengagement and resolve remaining issues along with the line of actual control in the western sector of India-China border areas. India's External Affairs Minister said that a response to the Gaza conflict should be to acknowledge the fact that the Palestinian people were denied the right to their homeland and also underline the importance of two-state solution. A Soviet-era Russian rock band Picnic, whose concert in Moscow last week was attacked by gunmen, staged a memorial show in St. Petersburg with the intention of donating money to the victims of the attack. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that Russia has no designs on any NATO country and will not attack Poland, the Baltic states or the Czech Republic. Russia's President Vladimir Putin also said that if the West supplies F-16 fighters to Ukraine, then they will be shot down by Russian forces. A Russian drone attack early on Thursday damaged houses and started a fire in Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia residential area and also left 2 people wounded. Russia said its air defense forces intercepted multiple rockets fired by the Ukrainian army and also shot down several drones in the border regions. Latvia's Prime Minister Evika Sulina said that country is open to various funding options to boost the European Union's military capabilities in light of Russia-Ukraine conflict. A Russian court has extended the pre-trial detention of Ivan Gershkovich, an American reporter, by 3 months, who was arrested almost a year ago on suspicion of espionage. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited fortifications in the country's northeast to inspect trenches, dugouts and firing positions. French President Emmanuel Macron and his Brazilian counterpart launched a submarine built in the South American country with French technology in a program that aims to build Brazil's first nuclear-powered submarine by the year 2030. French President Emmanuel Macron said during his visit to Brazil that a potential trade agreement between the European Union and the South American Mercosur bloc as it stands is a very bad deal and that more climate commitments are needed. Israeli army released a video showing strikes on a Hezbollah terrorist cell in Naqoura of Lebanon. Israeli security has set up a checkpoint near where a gunman opened fire on vehicles in the West Bank, wounding at least 3 people, including a 13-year-old boy. Mourners attended the funeral for a factory worker who was killed on Wednesday in Hezbollah strikes in a northern Israeli town close to the border with Lebanon. Dozens of people protested outside the Beirut office of the UN agency UNRWA after it put a staff member on administrative leave over possible violations of staff conduct regulations. The office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asked the White House to reschedule a cancelled meeting on a planned military operation in Rafah. The United States said it does not believe that negotiations with Israel and Hamas are over after the ceasefire talks ended in a deadlock, adding that Washington sees a chance to pursue the release of the hostages. The U.S. Coast Guard said that there is no threat to the public from any materials on board the freight ship that struck the Baltimore bridge, causing it to collapse. Divers recovered the remains of 2 of the 6 workers missing since they were tossed into Baltimore Harbor during the collapse of the highway bridge. U.S. lawmaker Jack Bergman, on his visit to Taiwan, reiterated the importance of a continued strategic cooperation between the island nations and the United States. A U.S. appeals court thwarted Texas's attempt to implement a controversial law aimed at detaining individuals suspected of illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. At least 4 people were killed in a stabbing spree in Illinois, with 1 victim in critical condition and another 4 in stable condition. The stabbings happened in the early afternoon in a residential area of Rockford. Puerto Rico declared a public health emergency following a significant increase in the number of dengue cases on the island. Since the beginning of the year, 549 cases have been recorded on the island. Spain's High Court document stated that a prosecutor is seeking a prison sentence of 2.5 years for former Soccer Federation chief Luis Rubiales over his unsolicited kiss on the player. Brazilian soccer player Dani Alves appeared before court in Barcelona after he was released from jail on bail earlier this week. A delegation from the European Parliament and the European Green Party spoke about democracy, international security and regional tensions in Taiwan Strait during a visit to Taiwan. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte said he had discussed an incident of cyber espionage that the Netherlands has blamed on the Chinese state during talks with President Xi Jinping. Myanmar's junta chief said that the junta was holding on to power temporarily with the aim of strengthening democracy and called for unity among the people among the military-defied armed groups. Argentina said it sheltered Venezuelan opposition leaders in their Caracas embassy so as to ensure democratic and free elections in Venezuela. Senegal's opposition candidate Bassirou Diomaye Faye won over 54% votes in the country's presidential election, with ruling coalition candidate Amadou Ba taking over 35%. Ecuadorian police dispersed dozens of anti-mining protesters demonstrating outside the country's environment ministry in the capital as tensions continue over mining rights in the town of Palo Queimado. Fiji's former Prime Minister Frank Bainimarama has avoided jail and was discharged by the magistrates' court after earlier this month being found guilty of perverting the court of justice. After several years of Ramadan falling in the midst of the scorching Saudi summer, residents of Riyadh were now enjoying the cooler atmosphere of this year's holy month. In the bustling streets of Old Cairo, shops and stalls on the 2 sides of alleys were packed with shoppers, some of whom came to check the handmade prayer beads on display that gained special attention during the month of Ramadan. Traditional Easter chocolate eggs have transformed into sports-themed characters in some Paris chocolate shops as chocolatiers concord pieces with a nod to the nearing Olympic Games. The egg-shaped pieces, some of which measure up to 2 meters high, are now on display in the streets of the Croatian city, which some artists took several days to paint. The Olympic and Paralympic torches will each travel in a custom-made Louis Vuitton trunk this summer, thrusting the historic luggage maker into the heart of the Games due to a sponsorship deal between its owner and the event. In a bid to reduce food wastage and adopt a sustainable approach during Ramadan, the United Arab Emirates launched a campaign to donate leftover food to those in need called UAE Food Bank. It was launched in 2017. Dozens of Catholic devotees walked barefoot and whipped their backs in repentance along a street in Manila to commemorate the Passion of Jesus Christ. Thousands joined hands to form a human chain in Nashville, Tennessee to remember the victims of an elementary school shooting 1 year ago. Catholics in the Ecuadorian capital Quito marked Holy Wednesday with an ancient ritual dating back to the Roman Empire. Australia will be setting up a $653 million fund to help expand solar panel manufacturing at home as it looks to ramp up its transition to renewable energy from coal power. Otani Mania officially kicked off in downtown Los Angeles with the unveiling of a 15-story mural of new Dodger star Shohei Ohtani. The new Hyundai Tucson and Santa Cruz truck were among the 2024 New York International Auto Show stars, with other highlights such as Polestar 4, Infiniti QX80 and Kia K4. Mega Millions set at sale single ticket for a lottery jackpot worth a hefty $1.13 billion, the fifth largest prize in the game's history, was sold in New Jersey, breaking a streak of 30 consecutive unclaimed drawings. A survivor in Ukraine managed to rescue his 2 cats after his building was shelled by a rocket. The Archbishop of Santiago de Cuba called for food, electricity and freedom during his homily days after protests over blackouts and food scarcity broke out in the island. A number of protective measures, including metal fence, wooden boards and plastic cover, have been set up around a Banksy tree mural in London following a suspected act of vandalism. The cast and crew of Hira Mandi, the Diamond Bazaar, attended a special unveiling of Indian filmmaker Sanjay Leela Bhansali's debut digital drama in Mumbai. A cluster of drones lit up this night sky, making unique formations and offering a sneak into the world of the television series. The series is set to premiere on the 1st of May. Indian actors Akshay Kumar and Tiger Shroff, along with Alaya and Manushi Chiller, attended the trailer launch of the upcoming action thriller film called Bade Miyan Chote Miyan. The film is set to release on the 10th of April. The film highlights themes of brotherhood and patriotism as Kumar and Shroff are soldiers fighting to save the country. Actor Naveen was recently involved in a bicycle accident in the USA. The actor's team confirmed the news and said that he is recovering now. Actors Gillian Anderson and Rufus Will led the cast and crew on the red carpet for the premiere of the new Netflix film called Scoop. Timothy Chalamet has signed a multi-year deal with Warner Brothers, the film studio said in a statement on Tuesday. He has agreed to collaborate with Warner Brothers on future projects as both an actor and a producer as well. As per media reports, Suki Waterhouse has welcomed her first trial with fiancé Robert Pattinson. The 32-year-old model, actor and musician confirmed her pregnancy in November last year. Camila Cabello released the lead single I Love It for her upcoming 4th studio album on Wednesday. She also unveiled a music video for her brand new track featuring Playboy Carti. Beyoncé shared the track list for her forthcoming album called Act 2 Cowboy Carter on Wednesday. Fans got a sneak peek on the superstar's Instagram account when she shared an image that appears to include the titles of her songs. Now in Sunrisers Hyderabad match that notched up the highest total in Indian Premier League's history, posting a total of 277 against Mumbai Indians. Chelsea women are all set to grace semi-finals of Women's Champions League for a second successive season after a 4-1 aggregate quarter-final victory over Ajax. Tonight, India's Rohan Bopanna with his partner Matthew Abden will be vouching for a spot in the finals of the Miami Open. Cricket Australia released the names of the 23 players who have new contracts, with veteran all-rounder Marcus Stoinis the biggest name to miss out on a new deal. In a historic first, Cricket Namibia has announced professional contracts for 10 women cricketers. Two-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu beat Chinese Taipei's Wang Yushan in straight sets at the second round of the Madrid Spain Masters. Four-time Formula One world champion Sebastian Vettel of Germany successfully tested the Porsche 963 in Spain. Inter Miami co-owner David Beckham hosted tennis couples Stefanos Tsitsipas and Paula Badosa. Yannick Sinner rolled past Thomas Macau by 6-4, 6-2 to reach the semi-finals of the Miami Open. And world number one Novak Djokovic has ended his highly successful partnership with Croatian coach Goran Ivanisevic. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.